Welcome to the Hard Truth Podcast. This is Jeremy Fouts, and today we are going to be talking about beat the competition. And, as always, I get up early in the morning and I try to figure out a good message to give you some truth to what you need to do to be the best that you can be. And, we're right in the middle today of the election day. I don't know when this is actually going to be coming out, but, I've had a lot of people, they call me and say, man, what's going to happen if, this person gets it or this person gets it. And I mean, obviously you guys know, how I voted. But I said, if the other side gets it, you know what I want to do the next day? I'm not going to be on the streets rioting. I'm going to get up. I'm going to put my thoughts together. I'm going to do my study time and I'm going to hit my workout and I'm going to go put my clothes on and I'm going to give it my best every day. So, that's what helped me today kind of put this outline together to give you hope that you can control what you can control. And at the end of the day, what we got to do is understand the situation, control what we can control, and have a desire to go compete every day to be the best that we can be. So, I hope that this message gives you some excitement today, that gives you some truth and perspective of what you need to do to be the best that you can be. Let's go! Beating the competition. We were out in the middle of getting ready for a elk hunt trip in Colorado, so I got a lot going on. This is going to be a little bit shorter episode probably than normal, but I will give you some value today that hopefully you can be the best you can be. So number one is results are what the world values. That's just reality. If you put in the time to master your skills and stay focused on high-level execution, you'll come out on top. I started by saying the results are what the world values. And I say that because on a daily basis, I'm talking to people and they want to do is talk to me about their excuses, their complaints, all these issues. Well, at the end of the day, whether you win or not, it all comes down to the results. And that's all the world values. So remove the complaints, remove the excuses, and ask yourself, are you winning every day? The results is what matters. The value you bring to the marketplace is going to determine your outcome. Number two, if you lack the skills and fail to meet the standards required, you won't succeed. And then this next part gets really good. Is it unfair? ? Maybe that is unfair, but that's life. One of the things I used to do, and I learned this from an old friend, is when my boys were small, and we don't do a lot of candy or a lot of sugar, but sometimes when they were small, we would stop by a grocery store or something, and after a hunting trip or something, and I'd buy one Butterfinger candy bar, and I would undo the package, and I'd let both of them get each end of the candy bar, and I'd have them to break it. Well, I don't know if you've had a Butterfinger, but undoubtedly, one of them is going to get the bigger piece, and one of them would complain, and the other one would be happy, and I would always say, life isn't fair. That's the way it is. Well, it's the same way with you guys. You've got to understand that, that's the way life is, and the only thing you can control is your skill set, your standards that you expect from yourself. So understand that life isn't designed to be fair, and it never will be. The rules stay the same no matter how much you wish they would change. And this is something I learned early on in my 20s that really did help me. And that's something I'm trying to teach my boys. My oldest boy going through the recruiting process, I'm like, man, that's the way it is. That's okay. We got to get better. We got to get stronger. We got to put on more weight. It doesn't matter if you're in a corporate position. You're like, well, Sally got the promotion and I didn't. What value can you bring to that corporate America to say next time there's going to be no question asked who they're going to give a phone call to get that promotion? Whatever it is, you got to understand that life isn't fair, but what we can do is determine the excellence that we choose to put into whatever it is that we're going to do. That way we can be the best that we can be. Next is to get ahead, face reality head on, and commit to becoming a highly skilled performer. Complaining about fairness may feel good for a moment. I see a lot of people, they when they want to complain about unfair, it makes them feel good for a minute because they're actually, putting themselves in a situation that makes them feel good about themselves. But here's the reality of it. It will ultimately hold you back. If you want things to be fair, then here's what you got to do. You got to make it that way by investing in yourself and reaching your full potential. You're going to beat the competition. One of the things that I understand about athletics, and those of you that know me know that I'm a big baseball guy, and I hear the different commentators and different things watching pro athletics and in the major leagues right now, and there's several guys throwing 100, 105, 108 mile an hour, or actually about 105.8, I think is the record for this year. But they will say, man, that's unfair. I mean, how do you hit that? And to be quite honest, it's very difficult to hit a 105 mile an hour fastball. But the way you do it is you put in the work starting at 55 mile an hour. Then you put in the work at hitting it at 60 mile an hour. And then you put in the work at 65. You put in the work at 70, 80, 85, 90, 95. So the 100 don't look as fast as it did when you was facing 55. And the reason that really is a good analogy for me, it's the same way with business. It's the same way with fitness. It's the same way in life. It may seem unfair, but complaining might make you feel good just for a little bit. But you've got to look and say, hey, am I putting in the work at 55? Am I putting in the work at 65 mile an hour? Am I putting in the work? That's what's going to make it all fair, is when you're beating the competition because you put in the work. Next is dedicate yourself to that path. And in time, you'll be the one with the advantage that others call unfair. You have to dedicate your path. You have to say, I am willing to do what it takes to beat the competition. And when you get that in your mindset and you get that in your head and you start seeing the outcome that you are looking to achieve, then you're going to hear the other ones say, well, that's not fair. Why did Sally now get the promotion? Well, that's not fair. Why does now Sally went from a size 12 to a size 6 and she has good looking arms? Why is it that Sally now has a good relationship with her husband and her kids? You've got to dedicate your path. And you've got to say that I'm going to go beat the competition, and I'm not going to be the one that complains about not being fair. I'm going to be the one that takes on that challenge and say, I'm going to be the best I can be. Next is, don't waste your entire life looking for the easy path. You have to be willing to do the work. And this may seem like a simple quote, but I've got a friend that actually is an FBI agent, and him and I, we've talked about this often, is some of the most intelligent people are the ones that he's putting away. Some of the people that are very intelligent, they're so intelligent, though, instead of taking the hard path and doing the work, they're always looking for the easy way. They're always looking for the cheat. They're always looking for those things that's going to get them up the hill faster without having to put in the climb. And with that, puts them in a situation that they don't want to be in. You have to understand you can't waste your entire life looking for the easy path to get to the top of the mountain. You look to the top of the mountain and say, I'm going to put in the climb, and it's going to feel so good when I reach that top. Next is align your expectations with what it will actually take for you to win and get your ass to work. Again, it's just a simple quote. But if you say, hey, Jeremy, I'm in a situation in my life where my finances is not where it needs to be. My fitness is not where it needs to be. I don't have a clear mindset. I'm not waking up with passion in the morning. What would you recommend to me? I would say align your expectations with what will actually take for you to win and get to work. It's that simple. And a lot of people are not able to do that. They don't want to lay out those expectations and say, you know what, I can't sleep in, all the way up until the time I go to work. I can't, be lazy on my diet. I can't miss my workouts. They looking for a way to say, I want to go to the top without doing the work. You got to align your expectations for what it is and get to work. The only alternative to this is learning to live with the fact that you're unwilling to do what it takes. So do you want to be in that situation where it's 5 years from now and you're in the same situation you were in? And you're sitting here saying, man, I'm still not fit. I'm still not strong. I'm still not educated. I'm still not the person that I want to be. You got one of two options. You're going to lay out those expectations, know what it is, and be willing to do it. Or you're going to have to live with yourself that you ignored the facts of what you needed to do to achieve greatness. But here's the thing. That's not what you want. And I hope that's not what you want. And you got to ask yourself, is that what you want? Of being unwilling to do the work and accept that fact? If not, then you better get to work. In closing, I want to give you the hard truth. And, at the end of every episode now, I'm going to do a hard truth on everything that I'm doing because obviously that's the name of the podcast. And as I'm watching a little bit of the people talk about the politics and all the complaints and everything, and number one, I'm just so excited for this election to be over. But, I hear all the people go back and forth, this and this and that. And, I definitely, voted for Trump. I definitely, hope he wins. I feel like his values aligns the best with me, from national security to God-fearing nation of America and all of those different things. But here's the bottom line is what you can control is not becoming what society wants you to become. And this is the honest to God truth. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. When you look at society as a whole, here's what they want. And don't fall into what society wants you to become. They want you fat, so you have to take medicine when you're sick. So what do you need to do? You need to be fit. They want you stupid and uneducated. They want you watching Netflix and TikTok instead of reading books and working on personal development. They want you to look down on people and judge people and not be kind to others. So what should you do? You should treat others the way you want to be treated. So the whole picture of this is you say, what do I need to do if society wants me to be this way? You be the opposite. You be fit, you be strong, you be intelligent, you be a hard worker, you be brave, courageous American that values our freedom and are chasing your purpose. So today, you've got to ask yourself the question, are you going to beat the competition, or is the competition going to beat you? Are you willing to understand that it don't matter if I complain or make excuses, the world just only sees the value that I bring to the marketplace? Am I going to be that one that is not looking at reality head on and knowing what it is that I need to do in order to achieve greatness? Or are you going to say, I'm getting my ass to work. I'm going to figure out what I need to do. I'm going to take the hardest path or whatever it is that I need to do to get to that top of that mountain, to be able to look out and say, I've made it to where I wanted to be. I've become that person that I wanted to become. I'm fit. I'm strong. I'm educated. I'm bringing value to my community. I'm growing my relationships, and I feel good about being the best that I can be. Thank you guys for choosing the Hard Truth Podcast. Share this with a friend or family member. Definitely like and subscribe. We are doing no ads on this podcast. It is expensive to do a podcast. Follow us on the YouTube Hard Truth Podcast. And I promise you, we are going to continue to bring you the truth to what it takes to be the best you can be in life. Thank you guys. Let's go.